Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode number 14 of the unofficial Rogue Company podcast, BROGUECAST. I'm here with Co-Reed.
I'm here with Dirt Lord.
Here with Garbo.
And I'm here with Griffin.
And this is the Rogue Company podcast, bringing you all the news that you need to know. And we have a good one for you. Yeah, we have a good episode for you guys today. We're going to start it off real fast here. So basically what had happened was, the update came out on December the 14th, right? In the last episode of BROGUECAST, we talked about all the update stuff, the This Week in Rogue Company changes and all that good stuff. So what they decided to do on December the 13th was to do a Battlezone preview event, play with Rogue Company creators. And it says, we are thrilled to invite our players to join us for a one-night-only creator event celebrating the launch of Battlezone, the latest LTM to come to Rogue Company. On Monday, December the 13th, we will be opening both Epic and Steam Rogue Company PTS servers from 5 p.m. Eastern to 8 p.m. Eastern. Join the Rogue Company development team as they play with Rogue Company creators across Twitch and YouTube gaming. We can't wait to see you there. So they shared this on Twitter, and the only reason that I know that's because I just, fact checked it basically before this. And there was, some of the, Rogue Company creators were on there playing with some of the developers and things like that. And this is what I will say about it. It's cool that the creators, the developers, whatever you want to call them, hopped on to the PTS and played with the community, right? But this is what I will say about it. Like, what is stopping them from doing this now? Like live. You know what I mean? I think it would be interesting if, like, on a Friday or a Saturday night, they're like, hey guys, we've got a handful of the developers that are going to be jumping into matches. They're going to be playing,
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And like,
yeah, so like you get on there and maybe pair up against them.
Yeah, or play with them. If they're paired off 2 and 2, or if you can get more than 4 people on there to do it, then that would be great. But what would be almost better would be like, we have a community manager now, right? Hi-Rez Minnie.
Mm-hmm.
She could easily go onto the Rogue Company Twitch page and just go live and basically set up custom matches with people. You know what I mean? Oh, you want to play with or against this specific developer or whatever, wait for your turn. We'll invite you, and she can basically spectate the games, or they could get someone else to do that even. And, that would be an incredible way for people to be able to get on there and interact with the developers, especially people that wouldn't normally have the privilege to do so,
Mm-hmm.
Some people are privileged enough to get on there and play with them every single time they get online. And then most people are not privileged enough to do that. So, and I understand, because people are going to get on there and start asking questions and, kind of don't want to get put on the spot, especially if you're live or if someone's possibly recording it,
Mm-hmm.
So I get it. But it would be nice if they would do more things like this, or organize some type of community event with the developers involved. So maybe this is kind of the start of that, and maybe it'll grow from here. That's what I'm hoping happens with this. That's the main reason I wanted to bring it up, because I think that, like, doing this, it shows a lot of good faith. It also shows a lot of willingness to want to interact with the community. It sucks that it happened on PTS, where literally, 8% of your entire player base doesn't, they're the ones that have access to it, and that's it. So I don't know, maybe in the future we'll see something different happen with it. But next up, let's talk about the Umbra update. And we're just going to tackle it. We're going to leave the biggest stuff for the end. We're going to talk about Battlezone last in this. But what I want to talk about first is the new Rogue Umbra. What do you guys think?
I like him so far. Little drone ability is nice, and the new DMR is pretty nice as well.
I also like him so far. I think he's a nice little addition. He's not overpowered, but at the same time, he's Really nice on
Yeah,
being kind of like
can
a
clearly
breacher.
see the spider coming. You can blow it up before it gets to you. So, I mean,
You can also hear it.
Yeah, you
Pretty
can.
loud.
It's balanced pretty well, and I haven't had any problems out of him so far.
Have you had a chance to play with him, Dirt Lord?
No,
Okay.
but I saw you guys play with him, and y'all liked him.
Why haven't you tried him?
What?
I said, why haven't you tried him?
We were playing Battlezone.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, that's kind of a. We'll get into that fucking beast here in a minute.
Oh yeah,
but I do the new DMR, the Bishop is good, man. I really enjoy that weapon a lot. I think that it's a great addition, and I feel like it's probably going to get nerfed at some point.
Yeah, because it feels like a better MXR at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. And to me, it feels like if you're good and consistent with it, it's better than all of the assault rifles.
Yeah.
So, like, even the Sahara or the Hydra, like those hard hitting ones that are like, once you get 2 headshots, they're down. Basically, it is a good weapon. It's almost too good. I feel like they're going to bring the damage, either the damage or the fire rate down. But
the fire rate, yeah.
That would make sense.
If they reduce the fire rate too much, then it's going to be the same fire rate that the MXR has.
Yeah,
that's the only problem with the fire rate of it. So I think in turn they'll probably nerf the damage and make it. Right now it does what 24? I think it's 24 damage or 25 damage. It's either a 4 hit down to the body or a 5 hit down to the body. They'll probably up it to like a 6 body shot down. Which is, I mean, you're still going to be able to fire it fast enough to be able to make that happen. It's just going to be, a little different. I do like the drone a lot. I think it's really fun to play with. The only thing that is weird to me, this is a problem that I constantly have with it, is whenever I'm using it, I'm always trying to like swap shoulders. I don't know why, but I'm always constantly trying to do that. But I do feel like it's very well balanced because I feel like it's the perfect speed. If you see it in time, you can outrun it and it's not going to do any damage to you. But it's really good for, like pushing areas where there's a really strong choke point. It's a good way to kind of like thin the crowd out a little bit there, especially in fucking Battlezone, But I do feel like there are a lot of ways to counter it. And a lot of people have started using rogues that have access to EMPs because you don't have aim assist against the spider, right? I mean, most people don't have aim assist against anything at this point. Yeah. So a lot of people's been using rogues that have access to the EMP grenades because, if you get it close to it and it detonates, it just completely destroys the spider altogether. So that's kind of good that they're, dual purpose. They're bringing up the EMP grenade usage along with this gadget. And then the siphon passive ability is a fantastic passive ability, especially since it grants you those benefits on not only downs, but also eliminations or assists. And that's
crazy.
It's very crazy, but to me, it almost feels like Umbra was designed around the idea of demolition specifically, because you can only down, I think, 4 rogues, or you can only gain the benefits from 4 things. And I think it caps out after that. So if you down 4 rogues, or if you down a rogue and then get the elimination or whatever, so you're basically not going to be feeding off that entire team, but you're going to be able to gain health gradually through the match that's going to help you combat that team. And I think that's why I feel like it was designed specifically around 4v4 and more or less around demolition type environment. So he's got a good perk set as well. Having padded steps, replenish, and life drain all, and berserker. The new perk, I've used it, but I haven't really used it, if that makes sense. I haven't really seen the footsteps, so there's that.
Dude, it's called
I bought
Hunter.
it a couple of times and I haven't been able to see.
Yes, it's called Hunter. Yeah.
I don't even think I had it on my list of shit to buy.
Oh, really?
Did y'all really have it?
Yeah, I bought
'Cause
it.
I
And I
kept
never
looking
saw any
for it.
footsteps.
Yeah.
And I thought I was buying it, but I was like, no, this is the one that, just like, the tracer, when you shoot people, it marks them.
right. I don't know. Maybe that perk needs a little bit of a
Maybe the
buff.
footprints are maybe really faded out, so they're not very noticeable.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I've seen.
Man, you saw the footage.
Yeah, and I've seen videos that people put up on YouTube or even on Twitch where they're using Umbra with that perk, and you see the footsteps. But I don't know. Like it's almost like a test needs to be done, and maybe we'll hop into a private match and do that. Where like
that's his perk. Okay, I thought that was a perk on Battlezone.
No,
they
okay.
They have a perk that's kind of like it.
Well, whenever you
marks people, right?
Yeah. So whenever you buy a tracker, in Battlezone, you get tracker rounds and also hunter, all wrapped up.
I didn't see
one.
no footsteps, dude, and I buy that every time.
Yeah,
if I got the money. So
yeah,
I don't know.
I think that it would be useful if, like, just say that you're like pushing a plant site, right? And depending on how long the footprints stay there and the view distance, then it could be something that would be very useful. Because, like, in my mind, I'm imagining we're playing on canals, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if we're going to be pushing the boat side, and let's say that somebody pushed up to the staircase, heard us pushing that side, and they ran back down to the plant area. Well, if those footprints linger long enough, and if you can see them at a distance, then you should, in theory, be able to see the footprints go down the staircase. And then if they like turned right to go into that little nook that connects to where the warehouse is, you should see where they curve and they turn right and go into that area. So I think that that's something that needs to be tested. And also, like, if the footprints are going away that fast, then they need to go in there and tweak that. And then they also need to possibly raise the view distance, because I think that could give you a lot of passive intel if the perk is adjusted correctly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then down here, we had a couple of rogue changes here. So Anvil, I really haven't been able to test Anvil's 2 shield, 2 barricade thing out properly. I've used it a little bit, but I haven't been able to use it the right way, I guess you could say. So I really can't comment too much on that, The Saint drone traveling faster, though. Holy shit.
That was nice. This
thing is amazing now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, wow.
Especially if you get that perk.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Right. With the drone and the lifeline, he is a healing machine. It's insane. I haven't tested the fixer out, so I'm not exactly sure how his, seeing the heat signatures of enemies, like while they're behind or around cover. That's something that I'm going to have to come back to and check out. And then I haven't played Seeker. I don't think I may have played him. I know I played him in PTS, but I'm not 100% sure if I've played him in live. So I'm going to have to comment on that at a later time. But the weapon changes. So the KA-30 still feels like the KA-30. They went in and they increased the recoil and they nerfed the recoil reduction upgrade. And it just still feels like the KA-30 has always felt to me since they went in there and made all those massive changes to it.
Yeah.
Still mows, man. Still mows.
Yeah, absolutely. The HRM 30K, like they went in there, they gave him a larger clip to that weapon. They reduced some of the reticle bloom. It feels like a much, much more consistent weapon now. And it makes me kind of excited to play with Trench to be able to master that weapon now. Like I've been, especially in Battlezone, I've been gravitating more towards like the HRM, the Hydra, the what's Seeker's weapon?
Hard hitting guns.
Yeah. Gravitating more towards those weapons, and of course the KA-30, as opposed to submachine guns or shotguns, unless you're in a pinch and that's all you have, of course. But I've been gravitating towards those, and I've really been enjoying the HRM 30K and the playstyle that comes along with it, because it is like, I think it does a 42 damage headshot at like medium range, and that is a huge amount of damage. So, and being able to actually consistently get headshot and body shot follow ups with that, it feels so good. What about the Spitfire? I haven't used the Spitfire specifically. I know they improved. I know they improved the aim over the shoulder accuracy for the weapon, but I don't think I've used it since the update went live. Have you guys noticed any changes? Does it feel better?
It still kind of feels the same, man. I mean,
yeah,
Basically the same. Yeah.
I mean, I can't tell the difference.
right. The A3 salvo though, since I've been running Scorch with the shotgun with the arbitrator, I've been relying on that pistol a lot more. And I think like that's the only pistol I think that I have any weapon mastery on right now, and I think that that's why. And after using her the other night and using the shotgun and relying on the salvo, it does feel like, you know, the base range increase is kind of felt. Like you don't feel it a whole lot, but you do kind of notice it a little bit there. And I think that since they tweaked the A3 salvo to where they made it shoot faster, like the bullets, the bursts come out faster, it feels like a completely different pistol, and I love it. And then, of course, a lot of the changes were pistol changes. So the P12K got the clip size increased, so that always feels good. If you're really good with a P12K, you could possibly down 3 people with one clip, which is fucking nutty.
Magazines, sir.
Yeah, right. The warrant, it's always felt good, and they just increased the damage on it. It's like, sure, go wild with it. The Riptide damage fall off has been adjusted. I haven't used that weapon a whole lot, but I don't have a good experience with that weapon.
I'm not feeling it, man.
It doesn't feel like it when Kestrel was first released.
Yeah, for sure, right.
Because I remember when she first released, both of her guns were like, these are solid fucking guns, dude.
Yeah. And then the tear, I've been using the tear gas a little bit more now that I know the changes have happened. They've increased the slow to 25%, and the distortion effect has been increased by 15%. And I haven't really got hit with the tear gas to actually gauge the effects on you, but I've also used it a decent amount, especially in Battle Zone, because it's a really cheap gadget. And it does seem to do what it's supposed to do. So I'm not mad at it at all. And the flashbangs, I've used them a little bit, but they still feel like you can kind of tell that they go off a little bit faster. But like since they reduced the duration of it a while back, now they're going to go off faster. That means that before, like as soon as you throw the flashbang, before you get the confirmation if it flashed somebody, you have to start moving to them, because if you don't, by the time you get there, the flash is going to be gone.
Yeah, go ahead and throw the other one too.
Yeah, right. Just fucking lob all of them. Yeah.
The problem with that is that you throw it, you start to move, but then it doesn't flash them.
Yeah, right.
And you're like, oh fuck, that got me killed the other night because I was like, I'm gonna flash this dude, run around, finish it off. I didn't get the flash indicator, and I was like, well, I'm already out of cover, so
yeah, time to commit.
I lost that gunfight.
Yeah. It might not be a bad idea for them to go in there and up the flash
duration just a bit.
Yeah. And I think that would be a good place to slot in a new perk for some of these rogues too, where you could like reduce the effects of some of this stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, I don't understand why that's not a perk already, because I mean, of course, Anvil's passive ability, he's immune to flashes and all this other shit. But I mean, you have padded steps, which is basically a slowed down version of Lancer's ability, right? So why can't we?
I think it's a more valuable version of Lancer's ability.
Yeah,
because it's constant. As long as you're running that speed, then you can move all over that map.
Always buy it.
Yeah,
you can make it to the other end of the map before the team knows.
Which we've sung the praises of padded footsteps forever. So
since the beta.
And if you're still not buying the perk,
you're fucking up, bro.
Yeah.
We telling you.
So it would be nice if they would, if there was a perk in the game, and they could even slot it in at a $10,000 perk if they wanted to, or an $8,000 perk or a $6,000, where like it reduces the effectiveness of like tear gas, flashbangs, anything like this, the slow reduction that you get from trenches, barbed wire, like anything like that by like 50%, maybe. And maybe not even
like
that high.
tenacity for those
Yes.
gadgets and stuff,
Yeah.
you know?
Exactly.
I know I would be willing to pay 10,000 for it if they have a team that's running, flashbang heavy.
Yeah. So if they've got a talon, a chalk, and a fucking switchblade, you know that you're not going to see jack shit except for a white screen for the next fucking 12 minutes.
Yeah. You've got 6 flashbangs coming your way at some point.
Yeah.
And it'd be worth it to spend an extra 10,000 to not be blind half the match.
Yeah, exactly. And then along with the update, of course, came a huge amount of bug fixes. I mean, there's a decent amount here. And I'm glad to see that with each one of these update notes that they release after the update comes out, that they put these bug fixes in here. It just lets you know that they are, there's a lot of stuff that they can't figure out what's causing it. But at the same time, they're doing what they can, and that's always a good sign and good faith to me. And I'm happy about that. But Battle Zone, aka Padded Step Zone,
yeah, everybody's got it, dude.
aka Explosives Out the Ass Zone.
Yeah. AKA, you better hope you find some fucking armor.
Yeah. AKA, don't get stuck in that fucking dead zone because that shit's going to eat you alive. You know what I mean? Like, all right. So Battle Zone has finally released, and we spent 2 days, pretty much 2 days playing nothing but Battle Zone. And I mean, what do you guys think?
A week.
That about sums it up.
It's weak.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
I know, man.
It's so short, man.
I don't enjoy it. You literally breeze through it.
Like
I don't have the same kind of fun playing it.
nah.
I just don't.
The stakes ain't high enough.
Nah, man. If I wanna play a game where I got a circle enclosing on me, I'm gonna play it in a game with a huge fucking map where I'm gonna spend more than 45 seconds on it.
Yeah, longer than 30 seconds to
and it's over.
Find some shit.
And trust me, a lot of those games you can get a hot drop and die just as quickly, but it's much less likely unless that's what you're looking to do.
Yeah.
I'm just not a fan of speed up battle royales. Like, I like a full battle royale game.
And it really the circle dictates everything. Because there's certain maps that with certain circles closed that there's no fucking way that you're going to be able to push through there, and they can just hold it down, and you've lost that round. You just know.
They're doing exactly what they're supposed to. They're fucking zone blocking you. They're keeping you out of it. They'll literally be on the edge, man, trying to.
But then it goes the opposite way, because there's been a few of those matches where we went 4-0, and it's because the circle pushed us every time.
Yeah.
And we're going to do the exact same thing.
That's how the game's played. That's the problem. That's how the game's played.
It's the maps themselves are just not large enough to actually accommodate for a circle to that degree. Because again, it just gets lopsided. Wherever that circle ends up, that's where it is. And most of the time when the circles actually spawn, they spawn near end zones. So it's either near one side's team spawn zone or the other team's spawn zone.
It'll start there and then move in.
And then move in. Right. It doesn't just start in the middle. So that immediately, raises the chance. I know it's kind of like the same as like extraction and stuff like that, but the zone keeps moving, Yeah. And again, people get shot, they usually die immediately. It's just, again, they get forced because they're trying to get into that zone. And we faced it ourselves. We've all died to it, trying to get into zone, and we get trapped trying to move in, and people just mow us down because we don't have a choice. It's either the zone kill us or they kill us.
Yeah. And I think that's where a lot of the the enjoyment factor completely goes out, because the stakes don't feel like they're there, because you feel like when you die, you don't get outplayed. The other person isn't better than you. It's just strictly comes down to how that zone affects that round.
And causes you to be pushed.
Yeah.
Or Or simply they got a better gun than you were able to get.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Maybe you got a shotgun and they're shooting at you with a DMR from 70 meters away.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of the, like, I understand, and I'm going to preface this before we go any further with, I understand that the majority of the community has been very welcoming of Battlezone, and there has been a ton of praise for Battlezone on social media. Like that's just the thing. That's just how it is. But I think that, like, this newness that these people are experiencing is going to wear off really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's just what it really is, man.
Yeah.
Dude, two nights of playing it, and I was just like, okay.
It's fresh. You know?
Let's go back to what we normally do.
Yeah.
And besides, Rogue Company already has a habit. They are always constantly releasing new game modes. So that's just what it is. It was just like, what's the new game mode?
Dude.
Battlezone.
2 nights of playing fucking Battlezone. I'm almost like, you guys want to play some Apex?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I don't play Apex.
and that's where, like, that's why it doesn't feel rewarding, because it hardly ever feels like that it's a close game. And even when it does feel like it's a close game, like, your momentum doesn't build the same way that it does, because you have the consumables, right? Because you have your baseline money that you get from each round, plus whatever additional cash that you earn in game, and it doesn't feel like you're building your character between rounds. It doesn't feel like you're building your character in the match, because the match is over so quickly. You're not gaining any forward progress other than buying perks.
Why do the whole spend it or lose it?
I don't understand.
Why can't I stack my money?
Because
why?
Well, you won't have.
Why does it matter?
Because I think the reason why they do that is because those higher costing perks are a lot of, like, denial. So, like, some of them is less, body damage. Some of them is more headshot damage. And I think that and you can carry 2 pieces of equipment. So if you have like a frag grenade and incendiary grenades, you can carry both of those. And I feel like people will purposefully hold the first round or 2 in order to get all that stuff, and then they'll start steamrolling the enemy team just based off.
Last that long. I mean,
well, exactly.
I mean, you're right.
You know what I mean?
Griffin's right, because I mean, I immediately buy those perks as soon as I get the money to do it.
Oh yeah,
and it's so good. It is as good. 30% resistant of fire rate damage or whatever.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
30.
It's just body. Like, you're just literally to every weapon 30% resistance.
Headstrong,
and then the one where you get the. I mean, dude, at one point I had all the perks.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. So they're trying to make it competitive on how you spend your money, but in a game that's been out for a year, where you hold specific amounts of money at certain times, like, it's a whole new ball field at that point. And it's like, what do you do? Like, everybody's going to have padded steps. So why have padded steps as a perk? You know what I mean? Everybody's going to buy some type of explosive gadget.
Oh yeah.
But so why have access to all the explosive gadgets? You know, it's so confusing the way that the buy mechanic is set up specifically for that game mode. And
yeah, it does look like it's just a little thrown together.
Yeah. So I have some things here that I worked on today, and you guys haven't seen them. I dropped them in the show notes log thing, like 5 seconds before we started the podcast, right?
Mm-hmm. Your Google Doc.
Yeah. But so this is my pitch. This is what I would do, and these are just suggestions, and you can take them, you can leave them, but I definitely am very interested in what anybody that's listening to this episode that's made it this far thinks about my own personal suggestions on how to make Battlezone better. And I feel like I tackle almost every aspect of the Battlezone experience in this document that I've created. So I'm going to go, like, dot by dot, because I have them in, of course, the bullet point format here. So I'm going to just go through them, and then once I go through them, let me know what you guys think. So for the first thing is perks. So more useful perks that are more specific for the game mode, such as apply armor faster, take less damage. Take less damage in the gas. How about a perk that allows you to predict where that first zone is going to be? Or maybe a perk that allows you to move faster when you are in the gas. And if you want to have a higher end perk, we know Battle Zone doesn't allow health regen, but why can't you buy a perk that allows your health to start regenerating after a very extended delay? So let's say that the current delay is like 5 seconds, something like that. Why can't we have an extended delay where it's like if you take 0 damage after like 45 seconds, then your health will very slowly start to regenerate? You see what I mean? And I think that, like, instead of basically taking the entire perk list and meshing everything together and forcing them into one singular perk and then giving us perks like, oh, you're going to take less body shot damage from this, or you're going to do more headshot damage with this, or you're going to be able to do, like all these weird perks that they created specifically for this mode. I feel like they could have made perks that were actually useful in the game mode itself that would give you and your team benefits while you're playing it. Because if I'm taking less bullet damage, then that's fine. But it doesn't fucking matter if I'm the only person alive and I've got 4 people shooting at me. It's that perk is useless. The headshot perk was specifically designed for the sniper rifles. And they changed
the armor.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And they changed the damage that the sniper rifle does because of the battle zone thing. And they give us a perk that increases the headshot damage more for one weapon. Why not give us some fucking perks here that actually helps you? If I could buy a $10,000 perk that allows me to apply my armor in 2.5 seconds instead of 5 seconds, you bet your fucking dollar that I'm buying that perk.
Because that shit takes forever.
Yes, exactly.
Or a perk and with that perk, how about this? They can't hear you. Because you can hear that shit.
Yes.
As soon as somebody around the corner, they start repairing the armor. It's like, oh, he's repairing his armor.
Yeah, that's good. That'd be nice. I like that. Yeah, I like that a lot, man. I mean, what do you guys think about perks? Like, would the more useful perks make it a more enjoyable experience?
As soon as you said that, I was thinking one that would let you know, like, not exactly where the zone's going to be, but
a rough
kind of in the area,
Yeah. Of
course, it'd be a pricey perk, but only one person needs to buy it, really.
Yeah. And that's the thing. You have one person that spends 15 grand on this perk, but it's going to benefit the entire team. And then also you have to take into consideration, a lot of people are solo queuing. How likely are they going to communicate with their team about where this zone's going to be?
Anybody got a mic?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Right. So for the gadgets, okay. This is 1000% how I feel about the gadgets. Remove the ability to purchase gadgets between rounds completely. Make the gadgets spawnable in the weapon crates.
I like that.
Assign rarity, like weapons, that allow for the various upgrade paths for the specific gadgets. Also create a lower tiered rarity for each gadget that does significantly less damage, heal, or effect than base. So there are 4 different rarities for each gadget. So you pick up a green frag grenade or a baseline frag grenade. It doesn't do 100 damage. Let's say it does 50 or 75 damage. That baseline incendiary that you can pick up in Battle Zone, maybe instead of doing 12 ticks of damage, it only does like 6 or 8.
Yeah.
And then as you start to loot the weapon crates and you see other gadgets, and I understand it, you don't want everybody to utility spam, but guess what? It's already fucking happening, man.
You got to spend your money.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
You're always going to you'll buy a perk, dude, and you're going to have some left over for a flash.
Yeah.
You'll get something. There's only one gadget that spawns in the crate, right? It's that stem.
I've seen a stem and I've seen a frag grenade spawn in the mythic chest.
Dude, if it's in the Mythic, you should get 2.
Exactly.
They're maxed out.
What the fuck are they doing?
Easy.
Yeah, I know.
That would help.
Yes.
I like that.
All right, this next one goes kind of hand in hand with it. All right, armor. Take the armor out of the weapon chests and put them in the store for purchase.
Yeah.
So remove Headstrong completely as a perk and replace the gadgets in the shop for the different tiers of armor. Yeah. Also, make a lower tier of armor that replaces Headstrong but only applies 25 armor instead of 50. Make this purchase cheaper. So right now, whenever you buy Headstrong in Battlezone, it gives you 50 armor as opposed to 25 in Demolition.
Yeah.
So they could add, the white version, the lowest rarity version of the armor and basically give it an upgrade path, just like the rest of the guns, of the guns on that buy screen, to where if you have enough money to buy legendary or mythic armor, then you should be able to commit to that fully.
I like that.
I like that too.
Scrambling to find fucking armor in 30 seconds, dude.
Yeah.
You sometimes
a lot of times you just don't get it. So you got to buy Headstrong.
Yeah.
And the other team
why don't we just sell armor? Yeah.
You got to find them.
Well,
you're like, what the fuck?
And I think that if you had that mechanic going into it, because think about it, the first round or first 2 rounds, most people don't have armor unless they're lucky enough to find some in a crate, right?
Yeah.
Your health doesn't regenerate. The round is so fast because a lot of the times in a lot of those earlier rounds, you're doing health, HP damage to them, and they're not able to regenerate that. If you started out with like 125 armor on top of your 100 base health, when they start getting shot, most people are going to try to get behind cover and they're going to have an opportunity to repair their armor. That's going to make for much more interesting gunfights.
Yeah.
Like 1,000%. And
it'll last a little longer.
Yes, exactly. And if you're lucky enough to get like a good gadget out of one of the boxes to where you could take some of that armor away from them and allow your team to push and be strategic tactical shooter, then I think that would make it a little bit more of a fun gameplay experience, in my opinion. Next up, weapons and loot crates. I'm calling them loot crates or weapon chests, whatever you want to call them. So remove assigned rarity to loot crates and have the loot crates spawn after every circle closes fully. So I hate the fact that whenever you first drop in round 1, you've got green boxes all over the place. And sometimes you might get a blue weapon, sometimes you might get a purple weapon, but the majority of them baseline is going to be whatever color that round is. Let's fucking get rid of that shit completely. Let's just completely take that out of it. And let's just have loot boxes where it's a fucking toss up on what the rarity of the weapon is, because their rarity scale is what what upgrade path you're going through here. So if I'm good with a KA-30 at base, then I don't need a fucking legendary KA-30. I can get the job done with a fucking white or an uncommon KA-30 at that point. You see what I mean? But if whenever the circles start to shrink closer and closer, or as the zone starts to move, then it should spawn more to give you more opportunities to find higher tiered weapons.
The better.
Yes.
The smaller that circle gets, you're getting better because you're taking a chance, dude.
Yes, exactly. Risk versus reward.
That's it, dude. That's a huge chance.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying.
Dude, most of the time that mythic crate, it ain't even that dangerous, dude.
No, not at all.
You can get it if you're right there when it happens.
Yeah.
Just cop it.
And that was exactly my next bullet point here. As the loot crates spawn when the circle closes, they increase the spawn rate of more rare weapons and gadgets. Risk versus reward, man. If you want a better weapon or a better gadget, you're going to have to go out of your way and put yourself in danger to try to pick this stuff up. Next is allow the armor swaps while engaging close to loot crates. Now, armor swaps is something that's like a huge thing in Apex, right? Whenever you down someone and turn them into a box, you can run over and you can swap their armor real quick, and their armor will be full. Most of the time, it'll refill the armor for you, so you can continue engaging in gunfights, right?
Yeah.
If you're going to have loot crates spawn as the circles get smaller and smaller, if you open a chest and see a purple armor or a blue armor and you have legendary armor and your armor gets broke in a gunfight, but you're right beside the crate, let me pick that armor up and have full armor again.
Yeah.
Prolong that gunfight. Yeah, just a little bit longer. Just a little bit.
It's new armor.
Exactly.
It don't make sense to put on new armor and it's still broken. Like,
yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And this next one is a little bit different. So, and I think that this would play into, so we're slowing the pace of the game down by getting rid of the gadgets and increasing the armor, being able to purchase it. But how about this? Assign specific weapon types as primary and secondary to allow for 2 weapons to be used in a match. So assign, like, let's say, assign assault rifles and DMRs as primary, assign shotguns, and then swap it up. Make it random as fuck.
SMGs, like.
Yeah. Because I think everybody's so used to picking up weapons off of everybody's bodies. Now you want to do that in Battlezone so that you have the best odds of surviving, but you can't do that. You're forced to stick with the pistol.
I kept trying to do it.
Yeah.
I thought something was wrong. I was like, wait a minute, I didn't get it. Let me do it again. Because why would it be different?
Exactly. And they could also use this same mentality right here, having the secondary weapons. It allows them to put pistols in the boxes and assign them different rarities.
Yeah.
So if you get a legendary or a mythic fucking warrant, and you're good with the warrant as your secondary, you're good.
Yeah.
If you see a fucking shotgun like the S12 and it's a fucking mythic, I'm like, fuck that. I'm sticking with the warrant. You know? Add melee weapons to spawn in loot crates and adjust rarity based off of upgrade path. So basically just put melee weapons in the crates, because some of them you open, you have 3 little things that come out, right? Put a weapon on one, put a gadget on one, and put a melee weapon on one. Like you're getting, you know what I'm saying? Like you can you can gear up in one crate right there. It may be shit loot, but you're able to fully loot up right there, you know?
But you can fight.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then this goes along with it. Create a lower tiered rarity for each melee weapon that does significantly less damage than base. So there are 4 rarities for the gadgets, for the melee weapons. I had a typo there, but I mean, basically do the same thing with that as we would do with the armor and the gadgets, so that, you have the uncommon or the lower tiered one, and whenever you swing it and whenever you throw it, it does less damage, but it could still be substantial.
Save your life, dude.
Exactly. All right, next up, zone and dead zone. And I put dead zone in quotation marks because it's not gas. I don't know what the fuck it is. It's a dead zone. Is what I'm going to call it.
Yeah.
So this is an alternative to the perk, and this is just some of the ideas that I have for that. Show the first zone as soon as you deploy into the match. Why can't we see where the first circle is going to be at?
Yeah.
That way you can
at least
loot.
Which side it's going to be on.
Exactly. That way you can loot and start rotating there, and you don't get held.
Yeah.
You know? After the first zone closes, slightly extend the time before the zone begins to close again to allow for more looting of spawned loot chests. So that goes into the idea of like whenever the circle meets, and I've got down here at the bottom of this, I have the current zone times. I spent my time watching YouTube videos and jotting down how this zone works. So right now, as soon as the plane door opens, the timer starts and it's 30 seconds. You got 30 seconds to get out there and find some loot. Whenever after that 30 seconds is up, you've got 10 seconds. And once that 10 seconds is over, then the dead zone starts moving. Takes 34 seconds for that first zone to close. Once it fully reaches it, the second zone appears. You got 10 seconds to see where that zone's going to be at. And then you've got 19 seconds of the zone moving in, and it continues from there. Let's extend that 10 seconds. You know, whenever the zone appears, let's extend that out just a little bit other than 10 seconds. And let's give us a minimum of 20, possibly up to 45 seconds in that regard, so that you can actually see what's going on, where you need to push to, where the weapon crates spawn at, if you go with what I'm talking about here, and it gives you a little bit of time to loot while you're moving into the next area. I don't think that's too much to ask for. Make the dead zone a line. This is something that we had talked about in previous broadcasts, but make the dead zone a line instead of a circle that moves from one side of the map to the other, and allow the dead zone to spawn on any side of the map. So if you're looking at the flat map, you've got, north, south, east, and west, where it can push from one side. I think if you did that, that would eliminate a lot of the problems that we currently have being held whenever you're trying to actually get into zone.
You be able to get around them, dude.
Yeah, it would make the engagements way more fun. Yeah, exactly. This next one is going to be so goddamn controversial, but I think this is very important here. So this is rogues and abilities. Make primary abilities require purchasing in order to use. If you want to use your Dima Merv launcher, you're going to have to pay for it in the shop before you deploy.
I mean, I get that. I mean, I see where you're going with that. Yeah.
I mean, I don't
especially in battle zone.
Yes.
Because it's like, dude, we're all down here trying to find a weapon.
Yeah.
I don't even have armor, and this fucking Switchblade's got an RPG.
Yeah.
Huh?
Hey, some of their abilities are a lot more valuable early on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I can't remember if we were playing or if I was playing by myself or what, but there was one game that I played where a dude on the enemy team picked cannon.
Yeah.
This dude.
Oh, yeah.
Adam can back me up. This dude didn't loot a fucking thing.
No, dude, he didn't have to.
As soon as he saw one person, he pulled that minigun out and he had it until the round ended. Yeah. And he mowed everybody down.
Yeah, one round he just waited for the circle to get kind of small, everybody's moving in.
Yeah.
And he just whipped it out.
Yeah.
And it was over.
That's what I'm saying. It's a lot of the rogue abilities. Switchblade, Dima, Ronin, Cannon. I mean, a lot of the rogue abilities.
Yeah, they kind of get a free weapon.
Yes, they get a free explosive. They get a free weapon right out of the gate. You don't feel like you're in danger whenever you're running those rogues because you're going to be able to do a very significant amount of damage to that person.
Yeah.
It's kind of unfair, and it forces you to play into a meta. You're either going to pick someone that can gain health or gain armor right out of the rip, or you're going to play someone that allows you to get an explosive off and to do significant damage to the enemy team as quickly as possible.
Well, in the same game, there was a Sigrid.
Yeah.
And she had a fucking shield.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Like, damn.
Yeah.
Shoot her toes.
Yeah. All right. Next up on that same rogues and abilities, keep passive abilities on every rogue as they currently are. So you maintain your passive abilities right out of the gate. Let's just keep those. You have access to those. As soon as the match starts, you have that. Possibly allow primary abilities to be upgraded as gadgets currently are. So if you make them purchasable, then also make it to where you can go in there and possibly upgrade it, especially for some of the rogues that have weaker primary abilities for the game mode. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, how much benefit does Dallas have whenever the circle is the size of a quarter?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm just saying. Game and match length is the next topic here. Introduce a sudden death type mechanic that forces you to win by 2 to increase the length of balanced matches. Increase the minimum rounds required to win by 1. So instead of, you got to get to 4 first, you need to get to 5. Mm-hmm. Increase the cash earned for downs, assists, and eliminations. Since the game mode doesn't allow for HP to regenerate, you are doing more for your team by damaging enemies compared to other game modes. And I think that that's absolutely correct.
Yeah.
Slightly decrease the amount of guaranteed cash that is earned at the end of each match, or I guess the beginning of each buying phase. Let's bring that down, but let's up what you would actually earn in match to compensate for that. And possibly create other ways to earn cash in the match by doing various things, such as denying explosive, damaging enemies, opening loot crates, etc. So, like, if you're buying APS systems or if you're getting APS systems out of crates. Whenever you get to those smaller circles and you throw one or two of them out there and your entire team is behind one piece of cover because that's all that's available, if you deny an incendiary grenade that's going to damage your entire team, you should be rewarded for that.
Yeah.
Like, that is huge.
It's huge.
And then last up, they need to increase the experience that you earn while you're playing Battlezone.
I think that's why I didn't want to play it.
Yeah.
After a while, it was like, dude, what is this? 300? Like,
I know, right? It's sad, you know? So those are all of my recommendations on how they could go in. Like I said before, they have a foundation there built, but they need to do a lot of work in order to get it to where it's something that is fun, competitive, and has great replay value. And I feel like if they do some of these things, then it would get to that point where it would be very fun, it would be very competitive, and you would actually feel like you're working together as a team, as opposed to, you know, just kind of like hoping that you're like getting favored by the circle. You know, the randomness of the circle dictates who's going to win that match. That doesn't feel competitive to me. What do you guys think? Do y'all have any inclusions or anything that y'all would add to this?
No, I do like the definitely increase the XP. I mean, at least make it worth my time playing if you're going to make me play it and tell people they like people enjoy it. Do they not realize that the XPs are just not there?
Well, I mean, the rounds are so fast.
dude.
I mean, that's
played quite a few of those games. I don't remember getting even a level on my battle pass.
Yeah.
Not without a booster.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, as soon as the plane door opens, most of the time we're standing at the edge, we're ready to go.
Yeah.
You know? How long does it take you to get to the ground?
So
you got 30 seconds.
A video that I was watching that someone uploaded, I don't remember who, it might have been Radthar's video. So from the time that the doors open to the time that you hit the ground, it takes about 10 to 12 seconds.
What the fuck?
So you legitimately have about 20 seconds to loot. They
need to up that time.
Yeah.
Maybe as high as 50. Why not a minute?
Yeah, I know.
Give me a minute.
Yeah. I mean, if they're going to force us to spend that cash and you're not going to be able to roll it over, no wonder it's fucking frag grenades, incendiary grenades, and trip mines all over the fucking map. You know?
Constantly, yeah.
Get them out of the shop. Put them in the fucking loot crates. Like, that isn't something, like, you would get more benefits out of having the armor, because that would be, at least if you have a shit gun and you have decent armor, you may be able to tank enough bullets to get this weapon to work.
More of a chance.
Exactly. And I would rather have that as opposed to like throwing an incendiary grenade on a corner and hoping that it does enough damage so that whenever they push out or I push into them, I might be able to get them down. Like,
good luck.
Get rid of some of the randomness. The things that should be random are the weapons and the gadgets. The things that you should be able to control are the armor. You should be able to dictate like what perks you have and give us better perks and allow us to hit boxes as the round progresses. Like, the idea of the Battle Royale genre is you drop in with nothing and you build your character out through the gameplay experience, through that match. Here, they're basically wanting to get rid of that building the character as you play the match, and they want you to build your character between the matches, but they don't give you the tools that you need to succeed.
But building the character is the fun part. The dying is the shitty part.
Yeah.
Where you just push in and die.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think what I'm going to do after this episode is I'm actually going to take this form here and I'm going to tweet it out, and I'm also going to post it over on the Reddit page, and I'm going to ask people for their feedback on it, because I'm very curious to see what people think about it. And I'm sure that there's going to be a ton of people that are going to disagree with a lot of this stuff.
That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. Either they don't have a lot of experience in battle royales, they don't have a lot of experience in Rogue Company, or they're just enjoying what they have now without the reality.
Well, they're like, it's something new.
Yeah, it's shiny.
The new's going to wear off, man.
Absolutely.
Just like the rest of the game did for them.
Yeah.
Because a lot of those people, would leave and then come back.
Yeah.
When there was something new.
They're not going to be able to take this game mode and replace ranked. They're not going to be able to take this game mode and use it as like a core mode for the competitive scene. Because if I'm playing competitively and they say that Battlezone's going on there, then I'm going to be like, get fucking Gandhi on the phone and tell him to fix this goddamn zone shit.
Are they doing tournaments with that yet?
I haven't
done that.
I know that they tried to organize a tournament for PTS whenever the PTS was out for Battlezone.
Do it on the test server?
Yeah.
Wow.
But I don't know if that ever went through or not. But I know Rome was trying to set something up with CMG to do that. But I mean, you can't. It's random.
Yeah, dude.
You're at the mercy of
your
the
skill
zone.
Does not matter.
Yeah.
When it comes to that circle moving around.
Yeah, exactly. All right, next up we have a post here from Kermar. Just so everyone is aware, there is a survey that is currently going on for the Umbra update. So if you're not following Kermar over on Twitter, go follow Kermar at KermarRC. Be sure to take this survey. It is also in game, so if you see it pop up down there, scan the QR code or click on the link, and be sure to fill that out and let the developers know exactly what you think and feel about this Umbra update, because I guarantee you it's going to focus very heavily on Umbra and Battlezone, and then possibly the Winter Bash event, but probably those two things more than anything else. So if you think that something needs to be changed, nerfed, buffed, whatever, be sure to fill this survey out and let these people know. This apparently is the only way that they can gather feedback. So, also next up on the docket here, this is another Kermar post. So they have a Hi-Rez Showcase that is going to be coming up on January the 4th and the 5th. So on January the 4th, that is when the CMG tournament, finals or whatever is going to be happening, over in Atlanta. So on the
LAN?
Yes, the LAN event. Yeah. So on January the 4th, the studio broadcast goes live at 9:30 a.m. and it's got the times here for everything. So at 8 a.m. they got the tailgate, 9 a.m. is streams live, 9:30 pregame, 10 group play, 1:30 winners round one. So like they've got everything broke down, and I plan on checking some of this stuff out just to see how the LAN thing goes. But this is the breakdown for that.
But set list.
Yeah, exactly, right. Next up though, we have the Hi-Rez Showcase. This is happening on January the 5th. Also on January the 5th is when they're actually going to have the finals, the grand finals for the LAN event. But as you can see here, they have 10:30, they have streams live, 11, they have the pregame show, 11:30, the making of our newest rogue ? So I don't know if that's going to be Umbra or if that's going to be a new rogue that they're going to announce at this showcase. First watch community queues play with the developers from 1:15. They've got a cosplay contest at 3 o'clock. Hi-Rez presents. So they did something like this, I believe, last year, where they basically took Smite, Paladins, Rogue Company, and they did like this whole, thank you guys for playing. This is what's coming up, all this kind of stuff. At 3:30, they're having a Rogue Company update show, and it's also deep dive into 2 years.
Whoa.
So yeah, right. It's crazy. So I'm sure that that's going to be probably talking about possibly the new character, maybe a new map. It would be nice if a new map, because we haven't got one in a minute. So, well, we got Wanted not too long ago, but it's about time for them to introduce something else new. And then of course from 4:15 to 6 p.m., 4:15 p.m. to 6 p.m. we have the grand finals for the LAN event. But this is awesome. Like, I'm looking forward to what this Hi-Rez Presents stuff and the Rogue Company update show, of course, and also the making of our newest Rogue. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah.
Should be good stuff, hopefully.
Gonna be live.
Yeah, right.
When you start plugging computers up and booting your game up, you better hope everything works out when you're live. Like,
yeah, I know for sure, right?
Because that's always fun to see.
Mm-hmm.
It happened during the thing, like when they got on there, nobody had characters unlocked on the PTS. Like they didn't have it; they just had the base characters.
Of course,
like, damn.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. GG.
Yeah. Good way to start this.
Yeah, for sure. Right. All right. Last thing I wanted to hit before we get to the community section. So we talked about this, I believe it was last week, and Rogue Company needed our help, man. First Watch Games, they needed people to download this Thousand Eyes Cisco packet tracking software, all this kind of stuff. So of course, me being the good Samaritan that I am, I signed up for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
As someone that wants the game to be in a better state, should.
Of course.
Okay, so this is what I got back from Andy Anderson. Could be an alias.
Sounds like a fake name. Yeah, I was just sitting here thinking that.
Could be an alias. I don't know.
Mr. Anderson over here,
Yeah, right. And this is what he sent me back. Rogue Company lag help. Good morning/afternoon. Thanks to all of you for signing up to help us out with troubleshooting our lag issues in game. Your willingness to work with us is greatly appreciated. We had a large response to our request for help here, so we are at our max number of licenses at this time. We may reach out to you again soon as licenses free up. Thank you for supporting Rogue Company. So, I didn't get accepted. I didn't think that I would, but I didn't, But it's nice that they sent an email out to basically let you know that, it's not gonna happen. But here's the thing, man. I understand that, licenses and you have to pay for them and all this kind of stuff, but like, there's two ways to tackle this situation, right? You either get a lot of license, you distribute them, you get the problem fixed sooner, or you get a very limited amount of license. Of course, you're going to give your creators first access, so there already is going to be 10 or 12 of them gone, and then you're going to basically cherry pick and distribute to the community as you see fit, which is going to take a lot longer, a ton longer, because like I said last week, it doesn't matter if you give it to someone that streams all day long. If that person is solo queuing ranked and they're not playing with anybody on console, they're not providing active information that the developers need in order to identify what the problem is. So they chose the route to go with fewer licenses. Maybe in the future, I'll actually get one of these things and I can actually help contribute to making the game better. But I don't see that happening. I just don't see it happening. I think that they'll
why would they turn down free resources? Your computer, your internet, your power, and they don't even have to pay someone to do it. Like you're sitting there testing their game for them.
Well,
like they should get as many people as like, I'll do it. Here, take one. Because
I mean, how much would a license for this be?
They should be able to afford it. You know what I mean?
20 million downloads, right?
Yeah.
Active player base that is currently buying in, because if they weren't, they wouldn't have any money whatsoever and they'd have to shut the game down. You got to think that like buying a very, very large bulk license package is going to cost money, but it's probably not like have.
The more you want, the better deal you get, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And you got to think about the turnover rate here. So you saving money by not getting more licenses, is that worth losing players? Because I couldn't tell you how many people since the Umbra update has posted on social media and said the game is running the worst it's ever ran for these people. I saw a video earlier today. I believe it was in a Facebook group for Rogue Company, where this individual had, I don't know, several gameplays, and the entire time their latency was so high that they were lagging around the map. They would go around the corner, then go back behind the corner, then go in front of the corner, and you know what I mean? They were teleporting all over the map. Same thing the enemies were doing. This person says, I'm uninstalling this game and not playing it anymore. So that is someone that's
Unacceptable.
It's unacceptable. This person also was using characters that they had bought skins for, and that's someone that is installing your game and will not continue to give you any type of money. Dude. So what is it worth to you? First Watch Games. I don't care that I didn't get picked. That's fine with me. But whenever I see as many people complain about the state of the servers, not even the game, but the servers right now, and people that are Joe King Gamer, right? This is a dude that I've talked to on Twitter. This is a dude that has uploaded Rogue Company content on YouTube. And he said today or yesterday that he's uninstalling the game and he'll reinstall it when the next update comes out. The next update's not going to come out until what?
It's going to be a while.
End of January, beginning of February, maybe? Because he can't play the game because the servers are so unstable. This is a guy
we've run into some problems, you know.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It happens quite a bit.
Yeah. You know, these are people that are spending money. These are people that are uploading content to try to help push your game, to try to bring more people into it. That's basically saying, I'm done with this game until you figure out why it's so unplayable for me.
Not a good look.
But it's okay because we had a large response. And we've maxed out our number of licenses, but we may reach out in the future.
The fact that they're turning down people is crazy.
Yeah, I know.
With the state of the game.
Yeah, it's great, right?
But I might give him a call. I just noticed his mobile phone number's on there.
Yeah,
so I'm gonna call him up and ask him. I'm gonna be like, hey man, I applied for one of those keys. I'm really gonna do it. I applied for one of those keys. I'm just wondering, man, like, why would you turn down people?
Yeah.
I'm going to ask him.
Dude.
I mean, put his number.
If you call him and he answers, please record it.
Oh, I'm going to record it.
I mean, this is going to be a fucking BROGUECAST exclusive interview right here.
I'm calling him over the Google Voice line.
Yeah. But that is all of the news. That is our thoughts, opinions on the Umbra update. As a whole, I feel like the Umbra update has been better than a lot of the updates.
For sure.
Yeah, they haven't had to
been better than some of the other characters.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I absolutely agree with that. And like the execution of this update is pretty damn near flawless in my opinion. Like there was a little bit of an issue on the update day where they had to figure out why the game kicked everybody off of it and wouldn't allow them to sign in because I was at home. This is the first time that I've ever been at home when there's an update, and I was going to get on there and play with Brad. It wouldn't allow him to log in. It wouldn't allow me to log in. And then we came back later and they had it fixed. If that's
was he streaming when that happened?
Yes, he was.
That doesn't look good.
Yeah, I know. Right.
Day one.
Yeah, I know. Oh, he was on there playing and he's like, well, I guess I'm going to go eat some food for a couple of minutes. So I'm going to end the stream here and I'll be back. You know what I mean? It's come on, man. But if that is the worst thing that has happened since the update came out, I think it's okay. It's they haven't had to disable any characters. They haven't had to disable any weapons. They haven't had to do any of that kind of stuff. So I think that on the whole, it's okay. The character's great. Battlezone, much to be desired. 1000% much to be desired. I think the foundation's there. I think that they could build something very interesting on top of it. Are they willing to put the work in order to do that?
Yeah.
I think that what they need, they've squashed the majority of the major bugs, right? Except for the guns not firing. That still happens occasionally. It doesn't happen.
Yeah. Not as much as it used to.
Yeah, but it still happens. Yeah. And then there's been a couple of other weird bugs that's happened here or there. But what they really need to focus on, and this goes back with the Cisco licensing thing, they really need to focus on the condition of the servers right now.
Yeah.
And if they need to shell out a little bit of extra money to get better servers, then I feel like now is the time to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they don't, then people are going to continue to leave the game. We're fixing to go over into the very, very special community section of the BROGUECAST. Let's head over and check it out. Welcome back, everyone, to the BROGUECAST Community Creator Spotlight. We are here with a very, very fantastic guest, Yulkiss. I say that right?
Yes, I'm happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, thank you. Thank you. She does amazing work over on YouTube. I've watched a ton of your videos. It is some great work that you're doing over there. And we'll get started here with just tell everybody about yourself a little bit.
Well, my name is Yulkiss. I have a channel. Right now, I primarily just focus on Rogue Company. I've been playing that for the past year. So that is my main focus right now. So yeah, that's a little bit about myself.
What have you, this is just kind of a off topic kind of thing. Struggles with YouTube and content creation in general. What kind of brought you into wanting to actually create content?
Well, the honest answer to that, I honestly just really wanted to learn how to edit videos. That was my primary focus. I actually was traveling a lot, to different countries, different states, and we have just compiled so much raw footage that I didn't know what to do with. And I just thought to myself, like, you know what? If I had a YouTube channel, it would encourage me to actually learn how to edit videos.
Yes.
And that really kind of what sparked the initial interest. But then kind of thinking like into, okay, well, what would I want to make a channel about? Obviously, gaming came to me as a no-brainer because I had been gaming my whole life. So I thought it would be just kind of be an interesting thing to try.
That's awesome. So you guys traveled. I'm sure you've got terabytes of footage laying around, right?
Yes.
That is so awesome, though. And it's funny because like when I originally started creating content for YouTube, it was what I wanted to do was like basically make like a time capsule of me and my friends, just getting online, playing around, having a good time, making jokes and stuff. And then it kind of like evolved into what it currently is. So and I had to learn how to edit. I had to learn how to do everything. And it was a whole new world for me. It was, if you're not prepared for it, it's a lot, right?
It is. I completely agree. But it's fun, once you get the hang of it, once you kind of create a community around the things that you love, it's honestly so great. So
yeah, I agree.
It's an amazing experience.
Yes, I agree 100%. So when did you decide to start creating content specifically for Rogue Company? I know that I went back from your upload history and you started out doing stuff with Dreams, which I've never messed with Dreams, so I have no idea what that is. But I saw some early uploads of Dream stuff, and then it started transitioning more and more into Rogue Company. How did you start to I guess identify that transition to where this is kind of where you want to go with it?
Sure. So Dreams is kind of like, I can't even say it's a game, right? But it's also a software kind of combined with a social media platform. So basically, it's a place where you can create pretty much anything. You can create animations, video games, you can create music.
Wow.
Anything. Your imaginations can go completely wild. They can create, they created some amazing graphics, like PS5 type of graphics. So you can literally create anything within the Dreams platform. And then once you release it to what they call the Dreamiverse, anyone can go in and take a look at your creation, leave comments and feedback. And so initially for me, why I got into Dreams, because I really wanted to keep like an actual dreams diary. I have like a lot of wild dreams, and I actually wanted to make that into a scene or a painting, or just actually create something within the Dreams platform.
Right.
And so when I downloaded it, I went through the tutorials and I realized that it's not very feasible to create a lot of things because it is very time consuming. And so you really have to some people spend years developing a game or months creating an animation. So I kind of, ran out of patience. And so my channel turned into from wanting to create things within Dreams to kind of reviewing what other people were doing, giving other people feedback on their creations and things like that, collaborating with a few creators as well. And, I guess I just kind of reached a point where I felt like I wasn't providing enough value to the community.
Right.
I felt like I was losing my passion a little bit. And so at one point, I just kind of stopped uploading because I just didn't feel inspired, with what I was doing anymore. So I kind of let content creation go for a few months and just kind of trying to discover new things that I liked. So obviously, I love to keep track of new games that are coming out. So I'm always in the know. And then I saw Rogue Company come out. And actually, I'm not new to Hi-Rez games. I've played Realm Royale before.
Right.
And Realm Royale, I loved Realm Royale. It was such an amazing game. Actually, the first Battle Royale that I played excessively was Realm Royale. It was kind of like a replacement of Fortnite for me, kind of like Fortnite without the building aspect, which is what I really enjoyed. I loved how you turned into a chicken. I just fell in love with it. Also, the very first game that I platinum on PlayStation was Realm Royale. So when I found out about Rogue Company, I really wanted to try it, and I just fell in love right away. And I probably got to like level 50 or something like that before it occurred to me like I should probably start making content about Rogue Company, because I did have a community on my YouTube. I did have people reaching out and ask me like, where did you go? Are you creating content? Kind of like what happened? And so that kind of what sparked me going back into content creation again was just really Rogue Company is the game itself.
That's awesome. Speaking on Realm Royale for a second, whenever they announced that they're going to kind of start updating the game again and support it again, what was your kind of initial thoughts on that? I'm just curious.
Well, if I'm going to be totally honest, I did lose interest in Realm Royale just kind of because of the excessive updates that they were making before.
Yeah.
I feel like, so that there was a particular update to the game where the kind of, I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but there was like this purple mushroom area.
Yes.
That they completely reconstructed into something brand new. They added an extra ability to the bottom and just kind of changed the gameplay a little bit. Where I just thought, I think that I need to move on to something different. So for me personally, it didn't exactly excite me, if I'm being honest.
I completely understand. And that's kind of the community for Realm Royale specifically kind of seems divided from the things that I've seen on like social media and stuff. Like some people are super excited that it's coming back and like that they're going to start updating it and pushing it. And then some people are like, well, we got what we wanted out of it, and everybody that was kind of hardcore into it has moved on to other things. And it's like, am I really going to go back and play that? So, and I completely understand. I mean, once a game gets to the state that it was in, I guess, or currently still be in, it's going to be hard to kind of bring that back to like mainstream popularity. It's going to take a lot of work on the side of the developers. So
100%.
Yeah, I'm interested to see kind of how that pans out for them, because I know that they took a lot of the development team for Realm Royale specifically and applied some of those guys over to First Watch Games for Rogue Company, which makes sense because Rogue Company came out and it kind of blew up for a second. But I'm interested to see, like, are they going to be operating with a full team? Like what their update schedule is going to be like, or is it just going to try to maintain the current player base of however many 150 to 250 at a time, whatever it is,
That's a good question. Yeah.
Yeah. So you said that you started playing Rogue Company about a year ago?
Yeah, on the first day it launched on PlayStation, which was October 1st. I was in there, I was trying it out, and so over a year now.
That's awesome. So you didn't buy into like the closed beta or anything like that? You just waited until it went full free to play?
Well, I'm not a PC player, so that was the main issue. It's really hard for me to transition back into PC. I'm 100% on console.
I can, and here's one thing I wanted to ask you about, because I was actually going to ask you if you were playing on console or on PC, but PTS.
Yeah.
It sucks that console doesn't have access to PTS.
Oh, tell me about it. Tell me about it. I'm missing out every time.
I know. Well, and they run the PTS cycle so short that it's hard for many people, like myself included, to get on there and actually kind of try things out and just kind of get a feel for, how the game will be. But I understand why they can't do it. I understand that it's a whole terms of service thing with Sony and with Microsoft, but the majority of the player base is console. So to me, it feels like I would be doing anything that I possibly could to make that PTS happen on console, because you guys get different bugs than like PC, like I get, and it's hard to like go in there and squash all those before it even comes live whenever you don't really have anybody testing that side of the world out. So it's kind of a shame. Yeah. But hopefully one day we'll get there though. Fingers crossed.
Let's hope so.
So you got it on October the 1st. So did you see any YouTube videos, any of the promotional material, anything like that to kind of catch your eye with it, or was it just something that you just kind of happened across and you're like, oh, this is a Hi-Rez thing?
Well, so I actually keep track of kind of new games that are coming out through Metacritic.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw on Metacritic that Rogue Company actually launched that day. So I knew the date of that it came out. And so after I've given Rogue Company a try, that's when I actually started to YouTube it. And, and I, looked at their promotional videos and I saw some content creators making videos around it. So it was actually after I started playing that I was searching for those videos. But initially I saw it on Metacritic.
Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome. Mm-hmm. Before Rogue Company, you did Dreams content, things like that. Like currently, like with how things are going now, would you consider like throwing a couple other games into the upload schedule? Or are you like fully content of, where everything is right now?
That's a good question. Well, here's the thing. So Rogue Company is a game that I actually truly love and I play mostly for myself. I just still a year and 2 months later, I just enjoy it. I enjoy playing it. And so I do want to continue making content around it, but new things are going to come out and I have, my eye on a few games that, I would like to play for myself as well. And, I guess for me, if I'm passionate about a game like I am about Rogue Company, I would definitely not mind throwing it out there,
Right.
So it's really showing my community what games I like to play and, kind of continuing to grow the community around those things.
Okay. Let me ask you this. If you had to pick right now, and I'm sorry I'm putting you on the spot, but if you had to pick right now, what would be your favorite game, period?
Oh man, that's a hard question.
I know.
Okay. I think the game that I've enjoyed playing the most in my whole life probably would be, and I don't know if you've heard about this one, it's Dragon Age Inquisition.
Yes, I've heard about that, yeah.
You heard about it?
Yes.
You played it?
No, I've a couple of my buddies have been huge into that series, but I have a problem with RPGs. So like once I start playing it, then like I don't leave my house or anything. So I can't sit down and play them because I'll lose track of like weeks,
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah, you know how it is.
Yeah. Yeah, really fun game. Yes, it is an open world RPG. But it has such amazing story and such amazing gameplay, and I just remember not ever enjoying a game the same,
Right.
So
that is awesome though. I'll definitely have to give that a try. Maybe when I retire, because responsibilities and things.
Yeah.
But maybe I'll come back to it one day.
Maybe one day.
Yeah, it's always going to be there. Why not? So within Rogue Company itself, what are some of like your main issues that you currently have with the game right now, whether it be bugs or like audio issues or matchmaking, anything's on the table?
If you asked me a few months ago, I'll probably say gameplay. I felt like I needed something new and fresh when it came to actually, gameplay and stuff like that, because, I mostly play Demolition.
Mm-hmm.
But after Weapon Mastery dropped, I feel like there's not a lot of incentive for me to play Demolition because it's not really helping me master those weapons faster.
Right.
So that was my issue a few months ago. But now, honestly, after Canon's update, there's just been an influx of bugs. And typically, even on console, I have a PS5. I've never really experienced that many bugs where I just complained about them.
Right.
But I feel like for me, that's been kind of an issue. Like, been disconnected out of games.
Yeah.
Can't find a match for periods of time. My shots are not hitting even though they're dead on. So there are just so many different things. And that really does take away from the experience if it starts to get excessive.
Yes, I completely understand. And I agree 1000%. I mean, one of the biggest issues that I currently have with the game is, I guess it would be latency issues, because there's a lot of things that happen, like getting shot around corners or getting shot behind cover when you're not moving or doing anything. You're shooting someone and the bullets are, like you said, it's dead on them, but you're not getting any damage. You're not getting any hit markers or anything on them. And that, you already have to deal with a world where Bloom exists in a third-person shooter. And to me, if you know for a fact 1000% that you are hitting this person and you don't get that, then the satisfaction of playing the game kind of goes out the window at that point.
Yeah.
And it's tough.
100%.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So with the bugs and the things that you see wrong with the game currently, in your opinion, what could be done to fix those issues?
Well, I know that, Roll Company developers are actively working on fixing those bugs. So I'm not going to say, fix the bugs because I know
Right.
they are fixing the bugs. I just feel like maybe it's a matter of delegating more hours into it or, more personnel to actually do that.
Yeah.
If more people had their hands on the bugs, I feel like that would probably make a world of a difference.
Yeah, I agree 1,000%. And it's kind of interesting when you take a small team, kind of like what First Watch Games is, which I don't know what their team size is by any stretch of the imagination, but you have to think like everything that goes into it. You have, the art design, you have, 3D modeling, you have, of course, the community manager and trying to see what is wrong within the community itself. You have people that are QA and everything, trying to make sure that nothing is released with bugs, but also trying to discover existing bugs. And whenever you take that and kind of spread it so thin, it's like, well, something's going to fall through the cracks, obviously. And I understand that like they can't just go out and be like, I'm going to hire 100 people to come in here. So I see the challenge there, and I also see like the community's frustration with everything. So it's kind of hard to like balance all of that out. It's like it's a small team, but some of this stuff has existed for a while. It's like, where do you draw the line at? And luckily for me, I haven't got fed up with it. I know that there have been several people in the community that have gotten fed up with it to the point where they don't even play the game anymore. And I can kind of see through all that and give them benefit of the doubt on a lot of this stuff because I do know the work that they are putting into it. Sometimes it just doesn't feel like that. It doesn't feel like the work that is being put into it is properly communicated with the community. And that's where I think a lot of people, myself included, gets kind of irritated. It's like, I understand that you're working on it, but like, just having a small post on Twitter that says, hey guys, we understand that insert, problem here, kind of like when, the map rotation bug was in the game. And then the very, very long queue times, they came out, the developers came out and said, look guys, we know exactly what's going on. We know that the queue times are real long. We know that the maps aren't rotating correctly. We're working on it. We're hoping to get a hot fix up next week. That is the greatest thing that they could have ever done. And if they did that with a lot of the other issues in the game, then I think people would kind of take that to heart. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. And I feel like maybe one of the reasons why they're not doing it is because, if you kind of outline that you've made a mistake, maybe people are going to, start noticing, well, they keep apologizing or, saying that these things are going to get fixed. Is the game really that broken, and maybe they start questioning a little bit and maybe they're just kind of scared to drive more people away. But I do agree that communication is probably the most important thing. If more players knew that their bugs, the things that they were experiencing were being actively acknowledged, they would stay active within the community. And I think a lot of it is about, caring about your existing player base rather than maybe caring about people who are not playing. If they saw those posts and think, oh, it's a broken game, I'm not even going to get into it.
Exactly.
So I do agree with you on that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love your point of view on that too, because you're 100% correct on that. And it goes back to like the community manager came out and she put a post over on the Reddit page and said that how they fixed the tier, because that gun, the fixer was disabled for what felt like 10 years. You know what I mean?
I know.
and she came out and said that, there was a Reddit post where there was logs of this person playing the game, using the fixer, using the tier, and documenting everything. And they sent all that information over to First Watch Games. They figured out that it was a colorblind issue with people spectating that particular character, and that's what was causing the games to crash. That is crazy that something like that is causing the game to crash, but it's something that you would never think of.
Right.
And the work that this guy put in, I'm like, hire him. If it was me, I would hire him on the spot. You know what I mean? Because that's dedication to the game right there,
It is. Totally agree.
But if we had that type of communication to where instead of people like screaming hellfire down on the company for not fixing the bugs and had more of a cooperation with one another to where it's like, all right, I played this game. This is who I was using. This is what happened, and give them as many details as humanly possible, then some of these bugs may be fixed a little bit quicker. So
Right.
It's
But at the same time, the players need to, or not the players, the developers need to kind of give that invitation, like, hey, come give us your feedback.
yes.
Because, I've had a bug one time that I was not able to look at my stats for actually about maybe 2 to 3 months.
Wow.
Yeah, and I just wouldn't be able to scroll. So I just saw kind of like the main
Yeah.
screen. I wouldn't be able to scroll down and see, how many kills I got with this person or that person, or click on anything for a few months. And I just thought, well, if I submit a ticket, I don't know if anyone's going to read it or care.
Right.
So I feel like players definitely need to be invited to share that feedback. So if the developers were on that a little bit more proactive on that, I think that would definitely help.
Yes, absolutely. You are 100% right. So I've got a hard one for you. If you were in charge, if you were CEO right now of Rogue Company or First Watch Games, I guess you'd say, or maybe even Hi-Rez. We'll just keep it in First Watch Games for right now.
Sure.
If you were like CEO top dog right now, what would you do? Like if you walked through the door right now of being in charge.
Well, first of all, I need a Rogue Company sweater, please.
Right? Those things are awesome.
Yeah, I know. After I get my uniform, and I actually thought about this too. Back in the day, when I just started playing the game, last year, they were doing this segment on YouTube, kind of like top plays.
Yes.
And they would
do
do a really nice edit on it. They would like slow time down, show everything in detail. And I thought, man, that is awesome. Like those players must be so happy that they got picked. And at some point, they kind of stopped doing that. And even going back to the bug situation, you were telling me how they can probably delegate more time, to fixing bugs, which could possibly mean that they would create, less content for the actual game, like cosmetics and things like that.
Right.
Which I think if they created more inclusivity within the community where a lot of people, felt like they have nice plays or they brought something to the community, like something that other people enjoyed watching, I think that would honestly kind of unite everyone even more, because it's not even about how much content you make into the game. It's kind of like how united the community is.
Yes.
And so if they brought back that segment, where they did that rogue replay, and showed top plays by different people, where they did challenges like, the person with the most downs using a melee weapon or a second, whatever it is, just weekly challenges. Just not even inside the game, but maybe on Twitter, post us your scores and whatnot. I think more things like that would raise the competitive spirit within the community. I think that would actually do a lot for the game.
Yeah, and that's very interesting, and I agree on that, because I loved watching that Rogue replay. Like I waited for it all week, especially whenever they had it towards the end of the This Week in Rogue Company thing that they do. I look forward to it because I submitted things every now and then I would see people that I would play against or play with, happen on a team with or whatever. They would be on there and I'd be like, oh my God, I remember playing with that dude the other night. Like, I'm glad I wasn't playing against him then, and having more challenges like that would be something that would be incredible. Like, if you had a challenge where it's like, how many no scopes can you get in a row? It's something that like, well, I've never even thought about even trying that, but now why not? Maybe throw a couple of rogue bucks at them if they win,
Great idea. Yeah. Look at that. See, now we're thinking.
I know, right? I'm going to have to come in as like, I don't know, secretary or something. I think I could pull that off. I'll just listen in across the room,
yeah, that would be a great idea.
Yeah, I would love that. And I think that it would get the community involved, and not only like from my perspective, and you may agree or disagree with this, but it feels like there's a separation within the community between the competitive scene and with the casual scene. And and I think that something like that, I feel like would help kind of bring that together a little bit more, because you see crazy stuff that the competitors do all the time because they're always posting clips and stuff on Twitter. But whenever you see someone that, or if you've never seen them before, see someone that you've played in game with, then I think that would be interesting. It's like, okay, I got featured this week. Like a pro didn't get featured, or someone that plays competitively, I got featured on. You know what I mean? And I think that would open the competitive community up a little bit more as to being a little bit more accepting and more open to, more of a casual player base.
That's a good point, actually. I agree.
Okay, so what do you personally think Rogue Company excels at?
Honestly, probably character development. That's probably one of my favorite things about Rogue Company is their characters. You feel a true appreciation for them
Yes.
because they're all so unique and they all have such amazing voice lines and just these distinct styles to them. You can't really compare one rogue to another. And I think as long as they keep creating rogues that are just so interesting and are so fun and just rogues that you honestly just fall in love with. And that's what's going to keep people coming back to the game if you care about the characters that you're playing with. And so I feel like they've done a fantastic job when it comes to the actual characters within the game.
Yes, they've done a fantastic job at not only the characters and like developing their kits, but they've done such a good job at actually balancing like 99% of the rogues out completely.
Yes.
And that's one thing, like with the weapons and stuff, it kind of goes back and forth. They'll buff something, then they'll have to nerf it and bring it back in line with everything else, especially now that weapon mastery is a thing. But one thing that I've always been very appreciative of is like they introduce characters into the game and they give them these very unique, specific abilities. And they've done such a good job at being able to keep them under control without being just a complete powerhouse. And that's right. It's really hard to do in like what would be considered a hero shooter at that point.
Yeah, I agree. As far as balancing the games, that is true because they've been on top of it, this whole year. And actually I've been keeping track of all the nerfs and buffs just to see kind of which weapon is being touched the most and things like that. It's a good thing that they're doing that because if a game is broken, if a rogue is unbalanced, what's the fun in that? Everybody knows like, oh, don't play this guy. This guy is just, too weak or whatever.
Yeah.
So I agree with that. That's another good point. They really do excel at balancing, the actual games and creating amazing kits for the rogues.
Yes. And I'm very excited for Umbra to come out.
Oh yeah.
So for yourself personally, where do you see yourself in 1 year? Where are you kind of striving to be at?
That's a good question. I think for me, I honestly take it day by day. I don't want to kind of close myself off to any opportunities. I have a wide variety of interest, I guess you can say. And, I just try to do the best that I can in the moment, to be honest, and kind of see where that takes me. So as far as like any goals, I don't really have any goals. I mean, I would like to obviously keep creating content. I would like to expand my channel into possibly other games. I would like to continue doing content for Rogue, obviously. But just kind of taking it day by day, though.
That's awesome, and that's a good way to approach the situation, in my opinion, because I feel like a lot of people get trapped in that. It's good to have personal goals, of course. It's always good to have personal goals, but the key that a lot of people don't have is realistic goals. And I think that you can kind of box yourself into this mentality where it's like, if I don't reach this goal that I set for myself, then I'm just going to be done with everything. And it's like, well, let's look at the situation though. Let's be realistic about that for a second. And I'm kind of the same way that you are. I'm just kind of taking it one video at a time, one day at a time, and just kind of see where it leads me. And if it goes somewhere, then great. If it doesn't, at least I'm having fun while I'm doing it.
True. That is the most important thing. And, even when I created my channel, I really didn't have, a goal to have like this many subscribers. I wanted to learn how to edit. I've been a gamer my whole life, so I wanted to create content around video games. And, as long as I'm having fun and having a good time, creating a community, feeling like we have a lot in common, that I'm enjoying our conversations, to me, that's kind of what the most important thing is. So, I feel like I'm kind of in a good place right now.
That's awesome. And congratulations. I'm very happy, especially whenever, there's a lot of messages going around about mental health and people that create content, stream YouTube videos, things like that. So it's very refreshing to talk to someone that's in a very good, mental state, that's happy with themselves and happy with where they're going. Because I understand, I get it. Everybody gets into that situation from time to time. And always remember, you can reach out to anybody and talk to them about this stuff. You can reach out to me. I'll talk to you all day long, So.
Yeah. And, another thing that I'll share is that it hasn't always been that way. I feel like there was a point in time where I was putting a lot of pressure on myself because, consistency is one thing that I personally have had an issue with. And, sometimes it's just not realistic with what I have going on in my life. And so just putting so much pressure on myself was what was making things very unhealthy. So I had to take a step back and just stop and just realize that putting pressure on yourself is just extremely unhealthy. Just do what is feasible for you in the moment. And so that kind of what brought me back to earth a little bit. And, that's why I'm kind of in a good place right now. I can make plans for the future, but, I shouldn't stress myself out over it.
Yes, exactly. And that's great. I'm very happy. And I hope that, you can reach the stars at this moment. So good luck and Godspeed, right?
Thank you. Yeah.
So from your perspective right now within the game itself, where do you see Rogue Company about Christmas of next year?
Ooh, okay. Well, I obviously hope that they continue to release more content for Rogue Company. Now, as far as the community size, I do have hope that the community size will increase. I know that the developers are not giving up on the game. I know that there's a lot of things that are coming. I just feel like we have to be patient for what's to come. I'm sure they have plans that they can't really speak on yet. I've heard a few things here and there, watched a few videos about, they were saying something about a mobile version of Rogue Company.
Yeah.
And then they were saying, I watched Clinics's video about some sort of a world, kind of a Rogue Company world game that they're coming up with. I don't have a lot of details about that, obviously, but it sounds really exciting. So I feel like a lot of things are coming. And honestly, I have a lot of respect for the developers. So where I see them in 1 year, I see them growing. I truly do. I see them growing, creating more content, and expanding maybe to other gaming platforms. So it'd be nice to see.
Yes, that would be amazing to see. So I'm sorry to put you on the spot again, but if you had to pick one rogue, like let's say they went into your account right now and deleted every rogue except for one, who would it be? Who would you keep?
Oh my goodness. Ooh, that's
rough, right?
I've never had a main, right? Because I always try to master all the rogues. So it's a really hard question, but I think it's evolved for me. So if you were to ask me a few months ago, I'll probably say Lancer, just because she's just so fun.
Yeah.
But I would say now it's turning into Vi for me.
She is such a great character.
Yeah, so good.
Yes.
So good. She's just a solid defender, so much going for her, and she's just so fun. And on top of that, she has a great look, great personality. I love her hostile voice lines. It makes me connect with her on a deeper level. So definitely Vi.
What's your favorite Vi skin so far? It's just curiosity for me.
I think it's the Wasteland, the one where she has that big thing on her nose. Is it the Wasteland?
Yes, because that's my favorite Vi skin for sure.
It is? Yeah, it's pretty good. I don't have it, but it is my favorite.
Yes, and they did Wasteland Talon, and then they did Wasteland Phantom for the Battle Pass reward for the level 50 a couple of seasons ago. Mm-hmm. And I think that Vi looks the best, and I love the way that they do her voice, where it's got that like automated kind of like computer effect on it or whatever. But I love playing her. The only problem that I have with Vi, and I don't know when this started happening, but whenever I throw the poison out, once it starts bubbling and getting all crazy, my frames just drop like crazy. And I'm like, please, God, don't let this happen right now.
I had the same thing.
Really?
Same thing. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
At least it wasn't just me.
Yeah, I had it too back when Trench used to have those.
Yes.
Same thing. Those gas tier grenades would just mess my gameplay up, and I would stop playing as Trench and Vi because that's what would happen. I would lose.
I understand. Who is your least favorite? I guess not really least favorite. Like, what rogue is probably your least played rogue?
Okay. I'm being honest here, okay? I would have to say Cannon.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, just the playstyle. First of all, the playstyle is not really my playstyle. Right. I do like the fact that he has a shotgun and the Sahara, but I just felt like those weapons were always kind of really random for him. Yeah. And until you master those, you can't really, well, I guess if you master other weapons, you can switch around, but you still are going to have to master the Sahara and the Striker at some point.
Right.
But, the Gatling gun and kind of how he's really slowed down by it, just altogether, just playstyle wise, he's not my favorite. I like his look.
Yeah.
But
I completely understand. So, where can everyone find you at?
Well, mainly on YouTube, it's Yulkiss, Yulkiss, or on Instagram at YulkissYT, or Twitter at YulkissYT.
That is awesome. Thank you so much for coming on this episode of the Broadcast. It's been an incredible conversation, and hopefully in the future we can definitely have more.
Likewise. Thank you so much for having me here. It's been really fun.
Thank you. So this is episode number 14 of the unofficial Rogue Company podcast broadcast. I want to thank Yulkiss for coming on here and speaking with us and letting us know her insights and her thoughts and opinions on Rogue Company. And I want to thank her so much for talking about herself and talking about the things that she has endured since that she has started creating content for YouTube. Please be sure to go check her out, drop her a subscribe, and if you see her on here, please let her know that you saw her on the broadcast and that you're coming over to check the channel out. I'm sure that she will be very happy for that. Also, I want to thank Dirt Lord, Co-Reed, and Garbo for helping us out with the first half of this episode of the broadcast. If it wasn't for those guys, I don't know what I would do, and being able to make this show with those guys has been absolutely incredible, and it has been a great journey so far. So if you would like to contribute to the show in any way whatsoever, specifically in the community section, please be sure to send us an email, broadcast@gmail.com. You can shoot us a tweet at broadcast, or you can join the Discord that is in the description down below. There is a section there specifically for broadcast contributions. So if there's something that you want us to hit on or something that you want us to discuss, those are the ways to get in contact with us in order to do that. Once again, I want to thank everyone for watching, everyone for listening, and please have a wonderful holidays out there. Enjoy some time with your friends and family, and be sure to be on the lookout for episode number 15 of the unofficial Rogue Company podcast broadcast. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.